This right here, it looks pretty good. While this does not really look good, like at all. What if I told you that achieving a similar lighting setup like you can see around me here can easily be achieved from the comforts of your home, plus you don't really need any crazy expensive equipment? You see, when it comes to videos, lighting is everything, and it's such an easy way to make your videos look so much more professional, like kind of instantly. Also, it will keep your viewers more engaged and help you tell your story more clearly. Now in this video, my friends, I'm not only going to share with you guys in step-by-step detail how I've put up this entire lighting setup, but towards the end, I'll be sharing with you guys, I'm not sure if I should, but I am going to share with you guys my secret sauce that honestly has enabled me to take my lighting setup to a whole nother level. All right, so today we're gonna focus on a simple lighting technique and a lighting setup that's easy to put up, but it will like honestly make your video so much more professional very, very quick. And it's fairly easy to do. Now, I'm of course talking about a 3-point lighting setup. Now, if you've never heard about it, then you're in for a good treat. If you have heard about it, I know and I'm sure that you're gonna pick up a whole lot of like tips and tricks along the way. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm alone here, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Anyhow, when it comes to talking head videos, when somebody's speaking to the camera directly like this, a 3-point lighting setup is great because it makes the person look nice and clear and professional, and it stops the shadows from making their faces look weird, and just overall helps the video look more pleasing. Now, as the name suggests, then this setup mainly consists of 3 lights. Hence 3-point lighting setup. Now here around me actually I have a few more and I'll show you them too. But the first and foremost, let's start with the key light. The key light is your main light and it's what like lights your subject the most. I have my key light just up here and I've positioned it in a 45-degree angle. The reason I do that is that I want the key light to give me this shadow that you can see on my face here. This gives me, the subject, like I'm the subject of this video, more contrast and just more depth. Of course, you can place your key light just behind your camera, but then you will get a really flat light, which is more like ring light. You lose a lot of the contrast. It's nice for beauty shots and whatnot, but in my opinion, I'd much rather have it here in a 45-degree angle for that 3-point lighting setup. So, my key light, that's this one here. Now, if you're wondering what light I personally use, then I use a Godux 100 watt as my key light. It's pretty basic and I like it a whole lot. Now on it, I have a medium-sized softbox which diffuses the light. It makes so the light is not as harsh. Imagine just like cloudy day, then the light is very soft and beautiful. It spreads the light evenly. And on a sunny day where there's no clouds and it's really sunny day, then you can like get this hard light which is really concentrated, makes us squint, and you get this glare in your skin and whatnot. So the softbox, it basically diffuses the light. Without it, it would be very harsh light. But with it, it spreads it out and making it pretty. Now I also just have a basic softbox I found on Amazon. In the description, you can find a link to all of this. And then I have a honeycomb grip as well. Now, if you could only get one light, then this would be my suggestion, something like this here, and you would not use all of the other lights around me. However, if you can upgrade a little bit, then the next light that I would suggest, and what I'm using here, would be a rim light. A rim light is a light that is placed behind the person. It's also sometimes called backlight or a hair light because it lights up my back here. You can see it here, and what it does, it creates this beautiful halo around me, plus by shining light on my back features here, it helps me separate myself from the background. So I'm popping out of the background, making me much more 3-dimensional and just helping me stand more out of the frame. Very, very, very pretty. And if I could only get 2 lights, then my suggestion would be to get also a rim light here. It's very easy to set up. You just put it out of your frame and then you like shine it on you so it shines here. If I had the hair out, you could probably see that it lights up my hair a little bit here. So that is the way to use it. Now, traditionally, you usually have it on the opposite side of the key light. So my key light is here on my right side in 45-degree angle, and then I have my rim light on the other side, out of the frame. But there is nothing that stops you and nobody who's gonna give you like goosh if you put it on this side as well. You can have the key light here and the rim light here. That is totally okay. Now when it comes to then color temperature, then personally I like to use 5500 Kelvin on my key light, but my rim light, I personally like to have it a little bit colder, simply because by doing that, it allows me to separate myself from background even more. But it's not like a crazy difference, it's really subtle. Now, in my opinion, when you're creating content online, whether it is for YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and especially if you're doing talking head videos, then a like proper YouTube setup or a studio, whatever you want to call this, is essential. Because a good-looking space, it just raises the overall production quality of your video so much and makes everything look so much more professional. And I truly believe that because of this, we come across as much more credible because the professionalism of our videos is so much higher, which in turn will increase the viewer attention, and everything else that we like. And the best part is that you don't really need any crazy expensive equipment. You just need like the knowledge and how to use some basic gear. I mean, all the lighting equipment I have is just like almost 10 years old. There's some entry-level lights that I bought when I was starting out. But just lighting your videos properly, it's such an easy way to increase the quality of your videos so much. Now, for those of you who are truly serious about your content game, then for the last 5 months, I've been creating a masterclass on how to light and create the perfect YouTube studio space or social media space or whatever you want to call it. And I'm basically sharing everything that I learned over the last almost a decade of creating YouTube videos and just making multiple different YouTube spaces. Now, this is one of the most comprehensive things I've ever made. It's like 40 or 50 different lessons, hours of content, and I'm basically sharing everything and diving deep into lighting, set design, background design, color theory, even audio settings, cameras, and so much more. Now, again, for those of you who are truly interested and really want to level up your content game and take it to the very next level, then in the description there's a link, and I see you guys there in the masterclass. So the third light in a 3-point lighting setup is the fill light, and it's placed on the opposite side of the key light. The purpose of the fill light is to fill in the shadows that the key light is creating, because sometimes when you have a key light here, it can create shadows that are like too dramatic and too much. And if you don't want it to be this contrasty and you want this harsh of a shadows, then you can add a fill light on this side here, but have it in lower intensity. So if the intensity on the main light, the key light is 50, then you might have the key light in maybe 5 or 10 or just whatever. I'll show you what it would look like without the fill light now. So this is what it looks like without the fill light. And as you can see, there's much more dramatic, much harsher shadows and much more contrast. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, and I think this looks like really cool. And in my opinion, the fill light is the light that you least need. That's why I suggest that if you can only get 1, of course, key light, 2, rim light. But if you want to fill in the shadows like I want to do here, then I would add it. And the reason I want to do it here is that because, just look at this here. This just becomes like less dramatic and more inviting. And that's like what I'm going for here on YouTube. However, the contrasty dramatic feeling without it, it looks sick as well. And sometimes I even do that. So the fill light honestly is just kind of up to you. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are more lights here than these 3 that I've shown you. I actually have 3 more lights. Now, I do have an extra light there that is acting as a catch light. It's like blinking in my eye. You can call it eye light too. Now, I usually don't have to do this because the key light, it's like should be enough, but I have to angle my key light in a way so it doesn't get like too much reflection here in the window. So that's why I just added 1 light there, a little bit lower, so it catches in my eyes. Very, very, very smart. Then I have a light here that is just a 60-watt Godo lamp with a gel on it, beaming up the blue. So I get this blue background. And then there I have another like light tube placed up there to fill in here to get this like pretty blue here. And then there's actually another light, so it's actually 4. I of course have a light bulb that you can see here, which is like practical light. Practical lights are so great. In the course I go in depth on how I use them. I also talk a ton about color theory, so you should honestly check it out. The link is in the description. But then you can also see I opened up the curtains, getting this like street lights in, which just act as some pretty practical light as well. Now, another thing I would say is like the part of my secret sauce is my choice of lens, and also the fact that I have here a mist filter. So mist filter, this basically just softens the highlights and just makes everything just a little bit more softer and smoother. It makes the highlight blow out and get this like filmic, like retro feeling, and I love it. Just look at this here, and now I'm screwing it off, and then look at it when I take it off like this here. Boom. This is like much sharper, much more digital. It's okay, but as soon as you add this on here, we take away that digital edge, and in my opinion, it looks absolutely sick. Now, as I said, there is a lot more that goes into a proper setup, and for those interested, again, there's a link in the description, but just getting a like 3-point or just even a 2-point lighting setup will like immensely improve your quality, and I would highly recommend. And I personally, as I said, like to have this in 45-degree angle to get this little shadow here. Now, as I said, I've been creating content online for almost a decade, and I've been doing this professionally, like as my only job for years. And in this video right here, my friend, I'm sharing with you guys some things that like most creators, they don't dare talk about or they never talk about. So next, watch this video right here.